Shalom, peace, love, and light, family. I hope you all are doing good, doing great. This is yours truly, and Yarika, and praise the Most High for allowing me to do another video for you all. In this video, which would be part 3 or part 10, I'm going to name this video The Sacred Garments of Adam. Okay, the Sacred Garments of Adam. And I'm going to just touch on how they were passed down to Enoch, and from Enoch, they were passed down to Noah. And of course, we all know by reading in the first video that Ham stole the garments and he gave them to his son Cush, and Cush gave them to Nimrod. All right. And that's pretty much where we stopped at. But I want to go deeper into it. I want to show you all the role that the garments played during that time, and how powerful the garments were and how valuable the garments were to these people. So we're going to go deep into it. And like I told y'all before, the Bible is just an overview. It doesn't tell you much. It really doesn't even speak on the garments for real. But anywho, the extra biblical text does. And that's what we're going to go into today. All right. So if you don't have any of these records, it's cool. Follow along with me. We're just having a good time. We reading. We just going into the records, man. So let's do it. All right, family. So we're going to start off in the ancient book of Joshua. And here, as you see on your screen, it's referenced in Joshua chapter 10, verse 13, 2 Samuel chapter 1, verse 18. And although they're showing 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 8, it's not in that chapter. Okay. So they got this wrong. We're going to go to chapter 7 and scroll down here to verse 23. All right, so we're going to read verse 23 all the way down to, let's see here. One second, let's see. Okay, I think verse 30 or 31. Okay, verse 30, I think. Okay. So let's do it. Well, I said verse 23. All right, verse 23. And Cush, the son of Ham, the son of Noah, took a wife in those days in his old age, and she bare a son, and they called his name Nimrod, saying, at that time the sons of men again began to rebel and transgress against the Most High. And the child grew up, and his father loved him exceedingly, for he was the son of his old age. And the garments of skin, okay, we're going to see what those garments of skin were, what animal they belonged to when we go into the records of Adam and Eve. But anywho, and the garments of skin which the Most High made for Adam and his wife when they went out of the garden were given to Cush. For after the death of Adam and his wife, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Jared. And when Enoch was taken up to the Most High in the chariots, in the so-called UFOs, I'm going to show that in another video, he gave them to Methuselah, his son. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them to the ark. And they were with him until he went out of the ark. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments from Noah his father, and he took them and hid them from his brothers. And when Ham begat his firstborn Cush, he gave him the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. And Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up. And when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. Verse 30, last verse. And Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments, and the Most High gave him might and strength. And he was a mighty hunter in the earth. Yeah, he was a mighty hunter in the field. And he hunted the animals, and he built altars, and he offered upon them the animals before the Lord. So that's it on the garments. It doesn't speak on the garments no more after this. All right, so let's move forward. All right, so the next record that we're going into is called The Writings of Abraham. All right. And I believe this is the first time that I'm showing this record on video. I've been reading this record a lot lately, and it's awesome, to tell you the truth. It fills in a lot of gaps. But anywho, we're going to go to chapter 2. All right. Chapter 2. We're going to read all of chapter 2. So chapter 2, verse 1, it says, Abraham was born the son of Terah, who was prime minister to Nimrod, who reigned in Ur or Ur of the Chaldeans. Now this Nimrod was a wicked man and an idolater, and my father Terah was led to follow after his abominations. Check this out. Moreover, Nimrod was a man of mighty power, for he was Master Mahan, and had in his hands the secrets of the ancients, as they had come down from Cain, wherein he knew the words of power and the signs for using them. And he had the holy garments which had been given unto Adam in the garden, in which was great power. All of this power did Nimrod use to get gain after the manner of the secret combination. And trust me, I'm going to do a lot of research on this secret combination, like the the signs, the language, all of that. All right, because it speaks on that in chapter 1. Anywho, let's see, where was I? Okay, verse 5. With his power, he had set out to build a tower which would reach to heaven, even the city of my father Enoch, which had been taken up, that he, Nimrod, might depose the Most High from his throne, for the Most High had taken up his abode among the people of Enoch. But the Most High frustrated the plans of Nimrod by confounding the language of him and his people, that they could no longer remember the sacred words, and they scattered forth over the face of the earth. At that time, Nimrod came and established the city of Ur, or Ur, which is the city of light. For he yet retained his determination to build a city to rival the city of the Most High, that the light and power might center in him. And through the ministration of Satan, he did receive again some of the words of power, and did reorganize the secret combination among his people. But he had not power as at the first, for the fullness of the pure language was not restored to him according to the decree of the Most High God. And we know that the pure language was Hebrew, which was the original language. All right. Verse 9. Now, in all the wickedness of Nimrod, my father stood by his side, for he was deceived by the subtle cunning and power which Nimrod possessed. All right, so now we're going to go down to chapter 18, still in the book of the writings of Abraham. All right, chapter 18, verse 1. Before the death of Ham, the sacred garments were given secretly by him to his son Cush. Cush also kept them hidden, and in his old age gave them unto his son Nimrod. And when Nimrod was 20 years of age, he put on the garments, and he derived great strength and power from them. Moreover, Nimrod was instructed in all the secrets of the evil combination by his father Cain, for Cain had not perished in the flood. I know y'all like, hold up, wait, what? Cain made it through the flood? Come on, that ain't accurate. Come on, we know Cain ain't make it through no flood. Slow it down, because the further you read, it'll tell you how Cain made it through the flood. Did he make it through the flood physically? No. But his spirit, his blood, DNA, did. Noah married one of Cain's daughters. All right. And from them two came Ham. All right. So the spirit of Cain, the blood DNA of Cain, his bloodline went through that woman and went to Ham. Okay. And it tells you that in this record. But anywho, verse 4, wherefore Nimrod became a mighty man among the sons of men, and established his kingdom, and grew stronger and stronger in wickedness after the order of the secret combination, which was from the beginning. For Nimrod spread his dominion over all mankind, save those in the city of Shalom, or the city of peace. All right, so that's pretty much it on Nimrod in terms of the garments and what he did with them, okay? Now we're going to get to the juicy stuff. Like I told y'all, the Bible is just an overview, and just by reading it, you won't understand what really happened, okay? So we're in Genesis chapter 25, and we're going to start at verse 25, okay? So it says, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So we're speaking about Esau here. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, just like Nimrod was, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sought pottage, okay, not flesh. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Now, it's something that I really want y'all to focus on here, okay? And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, okay? For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. All right. So again, it doesn't tell you anything, but what I wanted y'all to focus on is the fact that it said Esau went out into the field to hunt, all right, to fetch venison for his father. He went out into the field. He came back. He was exhausted. He was about to faint, all right. He was to the point where he was about to die. The Bible doesn't tell you why he was faint, why he was about to die, why he was so exhausted coming from the field. Now we're going to go into the book of Jasher and find out why. Okay, so we back in the book of Jasher. We're in chapter 27, and we're going to read the whole chapter, okay? So we're going to start in verse 1, and it reads, and Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt. And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Amraphel, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field. And like I told you in the last part, both Nimrod and Esau were great hunters. They always went out into the field to hunt. All right. So, and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt. Okay, this is when Isaac told Esau, go fetch some venison for me to eat. Okay, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness. But they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and his 2 men that were with him came to the place where they were, when Esau started suddenly from his lurking place, and drew his sword, and hastened, and ran to Nimrod and cut off his head. So this is how Nimrod died. Esau killed Nimrod, cut off his head. Okay? And Esau fought a desperate fight with the two men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword. So, come on. He ran after Nimrod, cut Nimrod's head off, then fought Nimrod's two men and killed them. All right? And all the mighty men of Nimrod who had left him to go to the wilderness heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voices of those two men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the two men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness. And when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled, called out, "Gone!" and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod. Oh, hold up now. Hold up. We got somebody new in this picture. Hold up with the garments. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father Cush had bequeathed to Nimrod, or gave to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land, and he ran and concealed them in his house. And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came unto his father's house, wearied and exhausted from fight. Okay? And he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. And he said unto his brother Jacob, "Behold, I shall die this day, and wherefore then do I want the birthright?" And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter. And Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by the Most High. And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had bought from the children of Heth for the possession of a burial ground. Esau also sold to Jacob, and Jacob bought all this from his brother Esau for value given. And Jacob wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witnesses, and he sealed it. And the book remained in the hands of Jacob. And when Nimrod the son of Cush died, his men lifted him up and brought him in consternation and buried him in his city. And all the days that Nimrod lived were 215 years, and he died. And the days that Nimrod reigned upon the people of the land were 185 years. And Nimrod died by the sword of Esau in shame and contempt. And the seed of Abraham caused his death, as he had seen in his dream. And at the death of Nimrod, his kingdom became divided into many divisions. And all those parts that Nimrod reigned over were restored to the respective kings of the land, who recovered them after the death of Nimrod. And all the people of the house of Nimrod were for a long time enslaved to all the other kings of the land. All right, so now we're going to go into the book, The Legend of the Jews, okay? And see what it has to say about this matter. Okay, so we're here at the sale of the birthright. Okay, I'm going to start right here. It says, the men slain by Esau on this day were Nimrod and two of his adjutants. A long-standing feud had existed between Esau and Nimrod, because the mighty hunter before the Most High was jealous of Esau, who also devoted himself assiduously to the chase. Once when he was hunting, it happened that Nimrod was separated from his people. Only two men were with him. Esau, who lay in ambush, noticed his isolation and waited until he should pass his covert. Then he threw himself upon Nimrod suddenly and felled him and his two companions, who hastened to his succor. The outcries of the latter brought the attendants of Nimrod to the spot where they lay dead, or where he lay dead, but not before Esau had stripped him of his garments and fled to the city with them. Now, these garments of Nimrod had an extraordinary effect upon cattle, beasts, and birds. So just think about it. Esau was already a great hunter. And to have these garments, oh my goodness, of their own accord, they would come and prostrate themselves before him who was arrayed in them. Okay, so hold on, let's read that again. Now, speaking of the cattle, beasts, and birds, of their own accord, they would come and prostrate themselves before him who was arrayed in them. All right, so you didn't even have to go out and hunt for the animals, they would come to you. All right, and to even give you a better example of what this is speaking about, just think about Noah's ark. When it was time for the ark to be filled, Noah put on the garments, all right, sat at the door of the ark, and all the animals just came and bowed down to him. That's how powerful the garments were, man. They were holy. So just to finish this out, it said, thus Nimrod and Esau after him were able to rule over men and beasts. Okay. All right. So now we know about Nimrod and his use of the garments, and how Esau killed Nimrod and stole the garments, and how he used the garments. Now let's go all the way back to the very beginning. Okay. In the book of Adam and Eve, the forgotten books of Eden. All right. We're going to go to chapter 50. Chapter 50. Adam and Eve seek to cover their nakedness. Verse 1. Then Adam and Eve went forth and came into the cave of treasures, and they stood praying in it the whole of that day until the evening. And this took place at the end of the 50 days after they had left the garden. But Adam and Eve rose again and prayed to the Most High in the cave the whole of that night, and begged for mercy from him. And when the day dawned, Adam said to Eve, come, let us go and do some work for our bodies. So they went out of the cave and came to the northern border of the garden, and they looked for something to cover their bodies with. But they found nothing, and knew not how to do the work. Yet their bodies were stained, and they were speechless from cold and heat. Then Adam stood and asked the Most High to show him something with which to cover their bodies. Then came the word of the Most High and said to him, O Adam, take Eve and come to the seashore where you fasted before. There will you find skins of sheep that were left after lions ate the carcasses. All right. Take them and make garments for yourselves and clothe yourselves with them. Okay, so we see here in chapter 50 that it was sheepskins. Okay, sheepskins. Chapter 51. What is his beauty that you should follow him, or that you should have followed him? This is speaking of Satan. All right, verse 1. When Adam heard these words from the Most High, he took Eve and went from the northern end of the garden to the south of it, by the river of water where they once fasted. But as they were going on their way, and before they got there, Satan, or Lucifer, the wicked one, had heard the word of the Most High communing with Adam respecting his covering. It grieved him, and he hastened to the place where the sheepskins were, with the intention of taking them and throwing them into the sea, or of burning them with fire, so that Adam and Eve would not find them. But as he was about to take them, the word of the Most High came from heaven and bound him by the side of those skins until Adam and Eve came near them. But as they got closer to him, they were afraid of him and of his hideous look. Now, I'm sure you all are familiar with the term alien, okay, and what they tell us they look like, all right, which we know that they're fallen angels or demons or whatever. All right, this is how he looked. Now, I can show you multiple images of how he may have looked. There's a movie coming out called The Devil in the Forest or something like that. And as I was going through the trailer, they showed it real fast. But what I did was slow down the video, and I caught the image of what this devil was, this devil looked like or whatever. So I'll show that right now. All right, so here is how They said the devil looked, okay, hideous. It's supposed to be a scary movie or whatever. But anywho, verse 5, then came the word of the Most High to Adam and Eve and said to them, this is he who was hidden in the serpent and who deceived you and stripped you of the garment of light and glory in which you were. And here where it talks about the garment of light and glory is speaking of their aura. You know what I'm saying? Like an example I can give you is Dragon Ball Z. Anytime they were charging up, or you know what I'm saying, they were using their power, you seeing this glow around them. You know, that was the aura or whatever. Same thing with Adam and Eve. That's what they had around them when they were in the garden before they sinned. All right. And we still have that to this day. We just can't see it because we're not on the level that they were, you know, at that time or whatever. It's like the food that we eating is different. The air is different. Everything is different. So we can't see it. We can't see that aura, but we can feel it though. We can feel the energy in different people and stuff like that, but we just can't see it. All right. Verse 6, this is he who promised you majesty and divinity. Where then is the beauty that was on him? Where is his divinity? Where is his light? Where is the glory that rested on him? Now his figure is hideous. He has become abominable among angels, and he has come to be called Satan. O Adam, he wished to take from you this earthly garment of sheepskins and to destroy it, and not let you be covered with it. That's why Ham stole the garments and gave them to Cush, and Cush gave them to Nimrod, and then Esau killed Nimrod and stole the garments. Okay, so now, you know, at that point, they were in the hands of the wicked. Satan finally got what he wanted, was those garments. Okay, what then is his beauty that you should have followed him? And what have you gained by obeying him? See his evil works, and then look at me, your creator, and at the good deeds I do you. See, I bound him until you came and saw him and beheld his weakness, that no power is left with him, and the Most High released him from his bonds. All right. So last chapter, 52, Adam and Eve sewed the first shirt. Okay. After this, Adam and Eve said no more, but cried before the Most High on account of their creation and of their bodies that require an earthly covering. Then Adam said to Eve, O Eve, this is the skin of beasts with which we shall be covered. But when we put it on, behold, we shall be wearing a token of death on our bodies. Just as the owners of these skins have died and have wasted away, so also shall we die and pass away. Then Adam and Eve took the skins and went back to the cave of treasures. And when in it, they stood and prayed as they were accustomed. And they thought how they could make garments of those skins, for they had no skill for it. Then the Most High sent to them his angel to show them how to work it out. And the angel said to Adam, go forth and bring some palm thorns. Then Adam went out and brought some, as the angel had commanded him. Then the angel began before them to work out the skins, after the manner of one who prepares a shirt. And he took the thorns and stuck them into the skins before their eyes. Then the angel again stood up and prayed to the Most High that the thorns in those skins should be hidden, so as to be, as it were, sewn with one thread. And so it was. By the Most High's order they became garments for Adam and Eve, and he clothed them therewith. From that time the nakedness of their bodies was covered from the sight of each other's eyes. And this happened at the end of the 51st day. Then when Adam's and Eve's bodies were covered, they stood and prayed and sought mercy of the Most High and forgiveness, and gave him thanks for that he had mercy on them and covered their nakedness. And they ceased not from prayer the whole of that night. Then when the morning dawned, at the rising of the sun, they said their prayers after their custom, and then went out of the cave. And Adam said to Eve, since we don't know what there is to the west of this cave, let us go out and see it today. Then they came forth and went toward the western border. So there you have it, brothers and sisters. I hope you all got a better, deeper understanding on the sacred garments of Adam and how they were passed down to Enoch, and from Enoch to Methuselah, from Methuselah to Noah, and Ham stole them from Noah, gave them to Cush, and then Cush gave them to Nimrod. Nimrod had them for a little while, did his thing in them. Then what? Esau came and cut Nimrod's head off. Esau stole them from Nimrod, and Esau did his thing with them. But I will say this, I'm still researching it, you know what I'm saying? I haven't came across anything yet, but I think, you know, it just stops at Esau. I may be wrong, but until I come across more information, I have read somewhere where it says that Jacob got the garments from Esau, but I have yet to read that for myself. You know what I'm saying? Actually going into the record and reading it. And trust me, if I had known, of course, it would have been in the video, but I haven't came across that yet. So with that being said, I hope that you all found this interesting, as I did when I first started looking into it. And you know, maybe, man, even unto this day, you know, the powers that be, they may have the garments. I mean, I don't know. But the last person that you read about is Esau having them. Okay. Now, of course, you know, during Jacob's time and when he had his sons, you know, Jacob made garments for Joseph, and said the garments were beautiful or whatever. And then if I'm not mistaken, you know, the Levites, they had priestly garments, so and stuff like that. So, you know, it goes on and on and on, man. But as far as these sacred garments that came from Adam, all right, I just wanted to touch on that. And like I said, I hope you all found it interesting, man. And as always, you know, we're doing this for fun, just trying to build, just trying to go into these records and get a better understanding on some of the things that took place. And like I told you all before, the Bible is just an overview, and we must go into the other records in order to just pull everything together. You know what I'm saying? Put all the pieces to the puzzle together and figure it out. So that's it on that. I think the next video is going to be really short. It's going to be real short. I'm going to just go into 2 records and show you all something on Esau and Esau and how he died. So that's going to be a really short video, but still cool. But anywho, shalom, peace and love, light to all of y'all, man, and stay tuned. Peace.